Speaking on behalf of my American compatriots, this country is a beautiful place. Sure, there's litter everywhere, terrible traffic, poverty, one McDonald's per square mile, amongst other tacky things, but we've got something that makes up for all of this. The stunning beauty of America's national parks, baby. With its ancient forests, rock formations, and waterways, America's parks have drawn folks from around the world to come and bask in nature's splendor. Splendor that's not only protected by federal law, but an army of park rangers. And today's story is what happens when you anger nature's protectors. This is the story of a young woman known online as Creepytings. She ran a Tumblr and Instagram blog, and her claim to fame? Defacing rock formations in national parks around the United States with graffiti. She seemed to be having fun with her cave paintings, really expressing her artistic side on these rocks. Unfortunately for her though, the ever-vigilant folks on Reddit would expose Creepytings' actions to the public, resulting in her getting into some serious trouble with the law. This is the Creepytings graffiti story. Before we get started, I want to give a big shout out to Helix Sleep for sponsoring today's video. Helix makes premium mattresses and bedding customized for your specific needs and ships it right to your front door. This mattress right here, it's a Helix baby, and it's damn good. The way it works is Helix has you take a sleep quiz before ordering, which takes into account your preferred sleeping position and body type. It even considers your partners as well. After the quiz, you'll be paired with one of Helix's mattresses, one that best fits your preferences. Personally, I'm a side sleeper that likes a medium feel mattress, so Helix hit me with their Midnight line of mattresses. I upgraded to the Midnight Luxe edition, and within days the mattress arrived at my house in a box. Shipping is free in the United States. It comes vacuum sealed and setup is a breeze. Open your box, peel off the plastic, and then this shriveled up mass expands into a luxuriously comfortable mattress in the blink of an eye. Now, I've been sleeping on my Helix mattress for just about 2 weeks now, and I can say without a doubt, this is the best mattress that I've ever owned. The body support this thing gives is unparalleled. It fits me like a glove. I've had this persistent lower back pain every morning for a couple of years now, and just magically, this Helix mattress has cleared that up, and I'm pretty grateful for that. This is a solid mattress. And for those of you out there that may be timid in regard to trying a new mattress, not only does Helix have a 10-year warranty, they have a 100-day sleep trial with every mattress. So if you don't like the mattress after trying it for almost 3 months, you can return it and get a full refund. So what are you waiting for? Go to helixsleep.com/wavywebsurf for up to $200 off your Helix Sleep mattress and get 2 free pillows. Free shipping in the United States. Big shout out to them for sponsoring. Now let's get on to the story. Graffiti is something most people immediately identify with cities, trains, urban environments, stuff like that, but graffiti in national parks has actually long been a problem. Historically speaking, it's been less of an issue, but from time to time, rangers will stumble across something scribbled on a boulder or a Kilroy was here, stuff like that. Nothing all too serious. But the problem with national park and rock formation graffiti started to become more of an issue in the late 2000s and early 2010s with the rise of social media, because you had opportunists who would go out and draw on famous landmarks in an attempt to get people to go back and follow them on the internet. And which of course brings us to the controversial national park Picasso that was Creepytings. Creepytings first appeared on Tumblr sometime in early 2013. Not much was known about the woman behind this page other than what was in her bio. Her name was Casey and she was from New York. The page wasn't unlike any other young woman's Tumblr from 2013. A lot of angsty, mysterious, and risque e-girl imagery. The page existed in this state for some time, but in the late summer of 2014, the content featured shifted, when Creepytings had apparently taken a road trip out to the American West. At this point, rather than the page featuring generic images ripped off of Google image search, it started to show images and photos of art that she had created. Innocuous at first glance, these images featured small pieces that she had painted on rocks and cliff walls. All of her art included this Creepytings tag alongside it, presumably so passers-by who were fans of this art could look her up on social media. All in all, Creepytings rock art seemed mostly unproblematic. That was until someone on Reddit exposed the true nature of the canvases that she was using to draw on. These weren't just any rocks, they were US government protected rocks. On October 21st of 2014, a post would be submitted to the Yosemite subreddit, a place for enthusiasts of the Yosemite National Park to come and talk about their experiences. The post was created by user Yosemite80 and was titled "Graffiti Artist with no regard for her actions leaves her art on the Vernal Falls stock trail." This write-up was essentially an expose, alleging that Creepytings rock art was not only done inside of protected national parks, which would be considered park vandalism and a federal crime, it was done within prominent areas of these parks, cherished by visitors for their undefiled natural beauty. Here's a bit of his write-up. You can see her art on the stock trail that connects to the Mist Trail and JMT Trail, little ways past the Vernal Falls footbridge and bathrooms, visible from the stock trail. You can find other things she's defaced on her social media outlets where she states, "I know I'm a bad person." Here's evidence that she was in the park recently or is still there. I wonder if it's possible to get some sort of action against this person. Her name on Instagram shows her Facebook page as well, so she's not that hard to find. This post immediately outraged members of the Yosemite subreddit, and they quickly filed in to give harsh criticism towards the woman for her disrespectful artwork. She should be banned from all national parks at the very least. She should be banned from painting as well. Good lord, her art sucks. As a wilderness education park ranger, this makes me very sad. Apparently, I'm not doing my job properly. One Redditor shares an observation, alleging that Creepytings also had photos showing her graffiti/artwork in other national parks, including Death Valley, Joshua Tree, the Canyonlands, and Zion, which if true would imply that she covered quite a bit of protected land out west. And finally, in regard to this Reddit thread, one user named Steve U actually enters this thing, and Steve U worked for the Yosemite National Park. He would explain that he was an investigator working for the parks and was gathering information in regard to this alleged vandalism. "Hi, my name is Steve Yu and I'm an investigator in Yosemite National Park. Thanks so much for bringing this to our attention. I'm not sure about the best way to go about this, as this is my first case I've worked off of Reddit. But if folks can send what they've grabbed to my email, that would be great." At the bottom of this post he says, "Please remember, everyone in our society has the right to due process. Due process, due process, due process." Because of the discussion started in the Yosemite subreddit, this Creepytings vandalism case was spreading around the internet like wildfire. Maybe that wasn't the best analogy. It had become a topic of intense outrage, and an online mob quickly formed, disgusted at the apparent lack of respect or ignorance displayed by Creepytings Casey. The message would become clear: don't fuck with the parks. So by this point in the story, a good chunk of the internet is trying to track down Creepytings Casey and get her in trouble. Well, it wouldn't take long for the Redditors to follow Casey Ting's social media trail and uncover her full name, which resulted in this information being handed over to the National Park authorities. And not even 24 hours after the Creepytings story went viral, the National Park Service would put out an official statement regarding the vandalism. Apparently, they were interested in finding this woman too. The National Park Service is investigating reports of vandalism in at least 10 national parks in Arizona, California, Colorado, Oregon, and Utah. While we can't discuss details of a case under investigation, we take the issue of vandalism very seriously. National parks exist to preserve and protect our nation's natural, cultural, and historic heritage for both current and future generations. Vandalism is not only a violation of the law, but it also damages and sometimes destroys often irreplaceable treasures that belong to all Americans. There are forums for artistic expression in national parks because national parks inspire artistic creativity. These images are outside that forum and outside the law. Now, if I was Creepytings Casey and I saw this National Park Service press release, knowing that Reddit has my full name, I would be absolutely shitting myself. And that kind of appeared to be the case because after the National Park Service and Reddit was on this, Creepytings Instagram and Tumblr accounts disappeared. Some were speculating that this was Creepytings Casey going into hiding and avoiding consequence for her actions. But according to a statement given from Casey's family, that wasn't the case. Rather, a report from TrailMob.com that included these purported family statements suggested Casey was eager to cooperate with authorities. This is TrailMob's paraphrasing of the family statements. She didn't go into hiding or run. She contacted the Park Service investigators and is fully cooperating. She knows she did a horrible thing and is incredibly remorseful. She is aware of the seriousness of her crimes and is ready to face the music. There are now people pretending to be her online, Tumblr in particular. All of her social media accounts have been deleted. The family's claim that Casey was cooperating with authorities would actually turn out to be true, as on October 29th, she was named as a suspect in the National Park graffiti vandalism investigation, and that was because she had cooperated. In a public service announcement, the Park Services didn't say that they were pressing charges at the time, but it did say they were consulting with the U.S. Attorney's Office, which if you read between the lines, that kind of means they were looking for a way to get her in trouble. And for most, this announcement that they had their suspect in hand and that they were potentially going to punish this girl, well, this was a moment of celebration for Reddit and the internet. Reddit had captured their vandal and were eager to see her punished in a classic example of internet mob justice. And that said, not all online felt this way. There were some out there that felt that Creepytings Casey was being dogpiled and was receiving a disproportionate amount of hatred for a victimless crime, and that this situation was nothing but a group of spiteful Redditors trying to feel important by exposing some Tumblr girl. I mean, fair enough, she didn't kill anyone, right? She scribbled on some rocks in a national park. But these parks are sacred places to a lot of people, and it seemed like Casey Tings knew that to some extent. It's hard to say that this was purely a mistake made out of ignorance. I think she knew that this would get attention. But that's just my opinion. Anyways, let's get back to that punishment. What was Creepytings Casey gonna get hit with? Well, in a press release given about a year and a half later in June of 2016, it was revealed that Casey did indeed get charged for her vandalism and pled guilty to 7 misdemeanor counts of damaging government property. Casey was sentenced with 2 years probation and 200 hours of community service, and while on probation was banned from lands administered by the National Park Service, the U.S. Forest Service, the Bureau of Land Management, and the Army Corps of Engineers. It's been estimated by some outlets if you combine all of this land together, Casey was technically banned from about 20% of the entire land in the United States. And while most of that land is just forest and uninhabited, that number is just kind of mind-blowing when you think about it. I mean, we've got parks everywhere in this country. It'd be like her navigating a minefield trying to get across it. This relatively strong-armed enforcement was received well by the public, as few were willing to show pity towards the woman who defaced the parks for a perceived vain attempt at gaining followers on social media. And the question of if that's what she was really doing or not, put that to the side. This case is yet another example of just how effective sites like Reddit are at galvanizing and mobilizing people to fight a perceived injustice. It's actually kind of crazy how fast they were on this. Like, remember it took 24 hours to get Creepytings identified and reported to the National Park Service. Now, Reddit's vigilante tendencies have gotten itself in trouble before, but this case seemed like more or less a reasonable expose of an ignorant artist who was looking for attention. The scoreboard: United States of America 1, Creepytings Casey 0. And that, my friends, is the story of the Creepytings Casey National Park graffiti. Let me know what you thought about this story down below in the comments section. Slap like on the video, ring that bell, and let me know who or what you want me to talk about next. I want to give a major shout out to my patrons. I appreciate you guys. Wavy Web Surf out. Peace.